no stranger. Babe's been waiting. Just as I recall that, your ass is still amazing. Playing, baby, saying, baby, love it, shit, you know I'm crazy. So go ahead and drink up. I'm so glad we got to link up. Get to taking that off me. Yeah. 'Cause I got the plug, I made the coffee green. I'm talking late night for ya. Let me lay a great time on ya. Don't make me wait, no, don't you? Just like you.
Hey y'all, hey, it's Troyia Monay, back to y'all with another video. Today's video, you guys, is super exciting, but I gotta get real with y'all in today's video. We only got 6 months left of 2023. And that's kind of like what sparked up today's video. I'm like, I gotta talk to my girls. I need some motivation myself. And I'm knowing my girls, my ladies out there, my fellow female entrepreneurs, I know you guys need some motivation as well. So I was just thinking, like, over the past few weeks and, you know, everything like that. Recently, actually just came back from a social media break and just a break from business in general. And during that time, I was just doing, like, a lot of reflecting, a lot of just, like, looking at, like, my past experiences being an entrepreneur. And I'm just like, wow, I've came such a long way. Like, me looking at who I was when I was in college, who I was in high school, who I was when I got my first 9-to-5 big girl job, into who I am today. Is so many different levels of myself and so many different areas and aspects of myself that I really just want to talk to y'all about. Hey y'all, hey, it's Troyia Monay, back to y'all with another video. Today, y'all, we finna get real. We finna get real. It's only 6 months left in the year. I don't know how you feeling, but I'm feeling a little anxious. I ain't even gonna lie to you. I'm feeling a little uneasy. I ain't even gonna lie to you. I'm feeling like, where did the time go? Can I get the time back? And can we fast forward a little bit until it's time for me to get my big bag, okay? Like, that's what I'm looking forward to right now. And what kind of sparked up this conversation is, if you guys can't tell, I took a little mini social media break a few weeks ago just to kind of go through, collect my thoughts, really figure out who it is that I really want to be, who it is that I really want to become, what do I want to be, like, you know, and where do I see, like, my business is going, different things like that. Just taking a break from the world and just really staying in the house, really getting connected with who I am. So that's kind of like what sparked up this conversation. And I just been doing a lot of reflecting, like how I was able to even just be who I am today, get to where I am, and see all the amazing things that I've accomplished so far. And I am super excited about today's conversation. We're going to be talking about how I went from broke, because I was broke at one point, to hitting multiple six figures within my business. So literally going from broke to financial freedom. And I really want to talk about that today. I really want to tell my story, because I feel like a lot of you guys probably may know me, may not know me, may have stumbled upon this video. And I really want to kind of just dissect all the things that I've did, all the things that I've, you know, done along the years to get to where I am today. So if you guys don't know who I am Troyia Monay. I am your business bestie. I am your business coach. I specialize in all things e-commerce. But I am dabbling into service-based businesses. So my lash techs, my hairstylist, my makeup artist. So I'm super excited to dabble a little bit into all things business and also marketing. I'm also a influencer on social media. So YouTube, Instagram. I am growing out my TikTok, y'all. So make sure y'all follow me over on TikTok. And I am also a e-commerce business owner as well. So I'm super excited to talk to y'all about how I went from broke to financially free, y'all. How I went from having barely any money to having and making multiple six figures in my business. So just a little bit about me. We're gonna go all the way back just a little bit, so that way this entire story can make sense as to how I got to where I am today. I graduated from Florida A&M University with my Bachelor of Science in Public Relations. So I've always been into marketing, PR, graphic design, all of those things. I've always been really into all of those things. Like, I was senior class president at my college, and I pretty much made all of our graphics. I pretty much did all of our marketing for all of our events. And that also goes into all the organizations and things that I was in on campus as well. So when I was in college, I was real scared, y'all. I was real scared. I'm like, it's senior year. I got like a few months until I graduate. Like, what am I going to do? I don't know where I'm going to go. Mama, I can't come back to your house. I don't want to come back to your house. I got to find something to do, okay? And I got to find something to do fast. So I had put in so many job applications, y'all. Like, I applied to literally every single PR job, whether I was qualified or unqualified. I applied to all of them, and I heard back from literally no one. I heard back from no one. I don't know why am I getting emotional talking about this, but I heard back from no one, literally no one. So I'm like, okay, there's something that I got to do. I had a couple friends that were flight attendants at the time, and they looked like they seemed to be enjoying it. I'm not even the type of person who likes getting on planes, but I needed a job, right? So I reached out to them. They told me a couple different airlines to apply for. I ended up applying for Frontier Airlines. So I ended up applying to Frontier, did a series of interviews. They actually invited me out to Colorado to their headquarters. So I had an entire interview with the Frontier staff. They, gave us a lot of seminars and things about, being a flight attendant, all the different things like that. So I ended up getting the position with Frontier. However, I did still have to go through flight attendant school. So I'm in the airport, y'all, in Colorado, headed back to Tampa. I'm like, all right, cool. I met me a bunch of friends. We were all talking about how flight attendant school is going to be for us. We were super excited. I was excited just because I needed something to do, and I needed some money, and I couldn't go back to my mama's house, okay? So I'm like, all right, we're going to go to flight attendant school. All right, that's what we're going to do. So I'm literally about to board the plane, y'all, and I get a call from one of the top public relations agencies in New York City, and I still very much so love them, very much so vouch for them. It's an amazing company, Small Girls PR. I worked with some of the best brands when I was working with them. So I got a call from them, and it was from their HR department, and they let me know that I got a position being a fellow. What a fellow is basically like an intern. But it's a paid internship. So I ended up saying yes, heck yeah, hell yeah. I want to go to New York City, of course. I want to work in PR. Yes, I'm going to take it, even though it's an internship. But there was kind of like, I don't want to say a promise, but there was a guaranteed kind of position at the end of it, you being an intern. And I already knew, I'm like, I'm about to go out here, I'm about to kill it. They're about to offer me this full-time job, period, point blank. That's what we're going to do. So, of course, I accepted it. I ended up moving to New York City, and I loved it in the summer. Emphasis on in the summer. I loved it in the summer. New York is like such a beautiful place. I had such a great time in New York, and I loved every aspect of it and every element of it until it got cold. Y'all, when it got cold in New York, I was like, I can't do this no more. I can't do this no more. Like, I'm a down south type of girl. I'm a Florida girl. We don't be in the cold, right? We don't be in the cold like that. So I'm like, okay, I don't want to do this anymore. And I got really depressed. I got really homesick. When it's cold in New York, you just want to go to work and you want to go home. Like, that's not really your time to be exploring and sightseeing and all the things. So I grew into a really deep depression, you guys. I was really depressed. I started missing my family more. I started missing my friends more. And I just didn't like being in New York. It was just a hassle to do any and everything, to wash clothes, to get food, to do any and everything. It just became a hassle, and I just really didn't like it. The only thing that really kept me in New York, and oh my gosh, why am I getting emotional, about to cry, is the church I went to. And shout out to Jalen. She was my internship manager when I was in college, and she introduced me to, FBC NYC, I think that's the name of it. It's a church in New York City, and I loved that church, y'all. Like, when I tell y'all, I grew a closer relationship with God more than ever going to that church, because I didn't have nothing else. Like, that's like the times where you don't got nothing is the times where you lean into God the most, and I had nothing. Like, I don't want to say I was barely making ends meet, but I was only getting paid in New York $46,000 a year, which is not a lot of money living in New York City. Like, my rent for one room was like almost $1,000. Like, that's pretty much my whole entire check, right? So that's all I had at that time, was like literally almost nothing. So I grew a really close relationship with God, and that's pretty much the only thing that kept me there, was me going to that church, just because it was really young, it was really hip. I could really relate to the pastor and everything that he was saying. He also attended a HBCU as well, so it was just really relatable, and it was like everything that I needed in that moment. So I'm literally thinking to myself, I'm like, I cannot let all these people down. Everybody, really worked so hard for me to live in New York. My mom, my parents, they, you know, paid so much money for me to, you know, literally move my entire life to a completely different state. So I'm like, I can't let them down. So I'm like, I got to find a hobby or something. I got to find something that can, you know, get my mind off of, that I can do in the house, that can get my mind off of everything else. So I bought my first sewing machine. I started like sewing clothes, different things like that. I thought I wanted to be like a little fashion designer, but it was a lot of work. And I'm like, I don't think I'm cut out for this. So then I was like, okay, I'm just going to start a wholesale boutique, just get wholesale clothing. And everything literally changed after that. I got my LLC. I got it in Florida because at that time, I think I knew already that I was going to end up moving to Florida. I got my reseller's permit, my EIN number. I came up with my business name at that time, which was Wanted Wardrobe. And I started my business in New York City out of my small apartment that was probably about the size of what you see right here behind me. Like, it was so tiny. I want to say like my New York City apartment probably was like the size of like my kitchen and dining room. 100%. Like, wow, crazy to see how far you come. So when I was there at the time, I'm like, okay, we're gonna start this business. And y'all, it did so great on launch day. Like, I think on launch day I made like, in that time it sounded like a lot of money, but now of course it's not that much. But on launch day, I think I made like $1,500 or something like that. And I was like, it's up. I was like, it's up from here. Y'all made $1,500 on launch day. I thought I was big balling. Okay. I made that in like a day. Normally for me to make $1,500 working at my 9 to 5, that would take 2-3 weeks almost to make that amount of money. So I was super excited. And at that time, it was like 2 weeks before COVID. Didn't even know COVID was coming. This is how crazy God works. God works crazy, y'all. God works crazy. I'm like, I got to get out of here. I got to leave New York. At that time, I thought I was really big balling. I'm like, I'm going to need all this help with my boutique. I had all of these ideas. I'm like, I'm going to go home. My mom is going to help me with my boutique. I'll get another job when I get home. This and this and this and this. So I left New York, y'all. I packed up all my stuff in 3 suitcases, threw everything else in the trash, sold a bunch of stuff on like Facebook Marketplace and different things like that. Ended up moving back home to Florida with my mom at the time. So when I moved, y'all, I ended up getting another PR job, but it was a work from home job. And I was so excited about that because that really is what allowed me to focus in a lot more on my business. I was working from home and it also was a contractor role. So it was like only had to work like 3-4 hours a day. And then the rest of the time, you know, COVID had started. So I was just really in the house working and building my business. I was taking pictures in my mom's bathroom because she had it all decorated, all nice and fancy. I was sleeping on an air mattress for a very long time, y'all. Like, these some humble beginnings that I haven't probably even talked about, you know, on my YouTube channel. I was sleeping on an air mattress at my mom's house because she didn't have another bed. It was COVID, so she couldn't really like go out there and shop for another bed for me for probably maybe like a few months, maybe like 3-4 months. And then at that time, my little sister, she ended up moving away to college. So I was able to take her room and be able to stay in her bed at that time. So those were like my humble beginnings, y'all. Like, it's really crazy when you actually sit down and you think about how far you've come and how I jumped into coaching, entrepreneurship, and everything like that. So while my boutique business was booming, it was doing so good. I was making so much sales, you guys. I just started going through and just documenting my journey here on YouTube. I'm like, I'm just going to start a YouTube channel. We're going to talk all about it on YouTube. And I'm going to just share everything that I've done. I'm going to share all the things that I've done to market my business, you know, during the pandemic and everything like that. And it blew up. My channel blew up. And I hope to get my channel back to where it was, y'all, because my views ain't looking how my views used to look. But we working on it. And through God's grace, I know we're going to definitely get there. But yeah. I was documenting my journey, just showcasing everything, and I got a lot of comments. People were reaching out to me. Hey, can you help me start my boutique? Hey, I'm thinking about launching a boutique. I don't know where to start. Can you coach me? Can you coach me? Can you be my mentor? This and this and this. Y'all, I got so jam-packed with coaching calls, different things like that I was doing them for free for a very, very, very long time. I always tell this story, but it was one day where I wasn't going to dinner like a lot. Like, my family, we're not the type of family that eats dinner all together, but everybody eats dinner at the same time, but you might eat it in different rooms or something like that. And my mom cooked, and she called me. She was like, hey, you finna come down to get your food, or are you gonna come down for dinner? And I'm like, hey, I'm sorry, I'm on a coaching call right now. I'm talking to this lady on the phone, helping her with her business. Mom was like, oh, okay, all right. So eventually I go downstairs and I get my food, and she's like, you've been on a lot of coaching calls lately, or you've been talking on the phone with a lot of people. Are these people paying you? And I'm like, no, I just love doing it, you guys. I'm like, no, we're just talking about, different things that she can do with her business, da-da-da. And my mama like, girl, you need to have them people start paying you for your time. Like, those are time, skills, and different things that you learned and acquired along the way. You got to have people start charging you. So I did. I started, charging for coaching calls. I think that at the time, I was only charging like $57 for a coaching session. Like, y'all, it was so cheap. At that time. So that's how Her Hustle Academy was birthed, and how it was born is I knew how hard I hustled to get to where I am. And the word hustle just meant so much to me, and it means so much to me like right now that I had to name it Her Hustle Academy because I was grinding, y'all. I still be grinding. And that's just how that's how that was birthed. And to this day, I think I've coached hundreds of women, nearly, maybe even, if you guys want to count, YouTube, of course, that's hundreds of thousands of women almost, so I've coached so many different people at that point. So, of course, with me growing my YouTube platform more and more, I started getting sponsorships. I started getting brand deals. Of course, I'm getting paid from Google AdSense. So that's how my YouTube bag was ran up, and how I was able to, of course, hit multiple six figures. Well, hit six figures on YouTube through sponsorships, and then also hit six figures within my boutique business, and then also hit six figures within my coaching company, different things along those lines. So that is my story, you guys, of how I went from broke to financially free. When I was living in New York, I ain't had no money. I used to love when they used to do free lunch days at work, or they used to take us on like group bonding trips and different things like that. Like, I had enough money to survive, but I didn't have a lot of money to kind of just throw it and do different things like that. Like, it's amazing to really kind of just see how far that I've come, and to see how far of the things that God has definitely blessed me with and different things like that. But that's my story. If you guys need any tips or any pieces of motivation that I can give to you right now, it would be to keep going, keep God first, and really trust the process, because that's exactly what it is. It's a process. Rome wasn't built overnight. It's going to take time for you to see the fruits of your labor. It's going to take time, but make sure that you are being knowledgeable. Make sure you're acquiring as much knowledge as you can. If you guys are interested in booking a coaching session with me, so that way I can help you kind of jump start, and you can kind of not make a lot of the mistakes that I made, because along the way I made a lot of mistakes, y'all. Sometimes I still make very small mistakes, but I made a lot of mistakes along the way, and they were very costly mistakes. So I would definitely encourage you, get a business coach, get a business bestie, reach out to them, and avoid a lot of those simple mistakes that you make in the beginning that are definitely going to cost you in the end. So that is like how I went from making $46,000 a year. My second job, I was making only $32,000 a year when I got back from New York, to now making multiple six figures, you guys. It's a blessing. God is good. And I really can only give all the, love and the praises to him, because he's the only reason why I am where I am. And that is it for today's video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Make sure you guys go through, click the link down below. I'm super excited to chat with you. Let's talk about how we can launch, grow, and scale your business, so that way you can have this same exact success story that I have. And I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.